our parents to Woody, Gina, Greg, and Menace.
What up? It's the Woody Show.
And the best alt tunes daily.
Every morning.
We're Alt 98.7.
LA's new alternative.
Portions of this program were pre-recorded.
We are answering the call of destiny.
This is the Woody Show.
And we are into another new hour. Insensitivity trading for a politically correct world. It's like hoy.
It is like hoy.
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 We are the Woody Show. I'm Woody. That's Greg Gorey.
Morning, Woody.
Menace is here.
Hi.
Gina Grad.
Hey.
We got Seabass.
What?
We've got Sammy.
Morning.
Morgan is taking your calls. 877-44-WOODY is the phone number. You can send us a text over to 22987. Today's a Throwback Thursday. Man, we're talking about things that we wish we had when we were kids that we just never got. I mentioned the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier.
That giant thing.
Oh, man, I think it was massive.
Like
and then,
7 feet long.
And then just because I had already aged out of big wheels, but just as I aged out is when the Knight Rider big wheel hit.
It dropped.
Damn.
And that thing was sweet.
We were born at the wrong time.
Sometimes I feel that way. Other times I kind of feel like I was born, at a pretty good point. Like, I have a frame of reference on what life was like before the internet and cell phones and things like that. Like, I wonder what it is for, like, my kids. Like, what will they sit in there and go, man, I really wish we had this. I was thinking about those e-bikes.
What's their throwback items?
Yeah, what's going to seem
totally.
old-timey to them?
Yeah.
Like my buddy Joe, who was my best friend growing up, I hit him up the other day because I was like, can you imagine, dude, if we had these e-bikes, the damage we could have done?
God, that was the dream.
Because that expands your radius
Right.
For sure.
so greatly.
Opens
like we
your
were
whole
just
world.
stuck. Yeah, we were stuck for just wherever we could pedal around.
Right.
And we would go on some pretty epic bike rides. I told you the one time, we biked all the way down to the post office. It was quite a bit of ways from our house just to get a money order so that we could sign a buddy up for one of those like CD clubs.
Yeah.
But we put all the worst crap because it was like these little stamps that you would put on the card and mail it back with your money order to sign up for like the Columbia House, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, 10 CDs for a penny and then you were on the hook for X number. But we found the ones that were the worst ones. Like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is. We put all those stamps, signed them up for it.
Yeah.
That's
So
initiative.
But we biked down all the way to the post office,
Yeah.
which might as well have been part of like a decathlon or something.
It felt that way.
It felt that way.
Yeah.
But on an e-bike, it would have been so much easier.
So wait, the act of cycling was what was hard for you guys?
It was so far, and we're on BMX bikes, man.
And you have to get yourself back.
And we went miles. It wasn't like it was anywhere close. We went miles on BMX bikes.
And when you're a kid, the slightest hill feels like a mountain.
Oh, you're going to
for
die.
sure.
You're walking your
Yeah.
bike up it, and then you see that same hill as an adult, and you're like, this
Right.
is what I had a hard time with?
Yeah.
What a
That's
loser.
an incline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So, like, what's something you wanted as a kid, but you couldn't have?
Yeah, along with bicycles, like my friends and I were way into bikes. So the one that was really popular at the time that everybody had was the GT triple triangle, but
The GT triple triangle.
the higher end bike was the Boss. Have you ever heard of those Boss bikes?
No,
So there was
I-
like Mongoose, there was
I remember,
Diamondback.
yeah, I remember those.
There was GT.
Redline.
Yeah, Redline. Redline was a little bit higher end, but like Redline and Boss were like the higher end bikes to buy. And yeah, it was just so out of the price range.
The only reason I know about those Redline bikes is because that's the one that I won from the shoe store.
That was a nice bike to win.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember I told you that?
Yeah, it's
like
like
the
the
only thing I've ever won in my life. I
Rolls
was like
Royce of bikes.
Yeah.
8.
But like, yeah, I can remember everything about it. Like, pitbull brakes, and then all the type of like skinny rims were like the thing to
Yeah.
have back in the day. They're alloy that was like mind blowing to have.
Yeah.
But that was like what we wanted the most.
I wanted a bike that had the pegs on the back.
Oh, for friends?
So somebody,
For
somebody could, like, ride
hitchhikers?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a
didn't have
Diamondback.
that.
They had them built into into the bike.
I think you guys were working too hard. I had several Cabbage Patch Kids, but what I really wanted, the white whale, was the corn silk hair Cabbage Patch Kid.
Okay.
With the
Corn
silky
silk hair?
hair. It was called the corn silk hair Cabbage Patch Kid. And one Hanukkah, and it broke my heart, especially as an adult thinking back. My mom, who was, a single parent at the time, my parents had been divorced, or maybe just things just were a little rocky. And she got off work and she went to like 15 different toy stores in Kansas City, and they were all sold out. And she had to come tell me. And I felt worse for her than I did for myself. Never got it.
Even at the time, you felt worse
Yeah,
for her?
yeah. I was a fairly empathetic child. I wasn't perfect,
usually,
but
And she tried so
usually
hard.
you get
Yeah.
that perspective later in life.
yeah,
Like,
no,
oh,
but
man.
I
Not in the
definitely
moment.
you
Because when
just-
you're a kid, you don't realize.
I just saw it in her eyes. She was so tired.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
Somebody on the text 702 saying, I wanted a pair of Adidas with the 3 lines on the side, but my mom got me some knockoffs with 4 lines.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
So I tried to take the extra stripe off, and it looks so gnarly.
Oh, when you try and do it yourself, it's the worst.
Yeah.
That's what I would do when I wanted new shoes. My mom said, your shoes are fine. You don't need new shoes. So I would get on my bike and drag my feet on the cement, trying to wear them
Scuff
away.
them up. Yeah.
Just trying to destroy them. Say, look, I need new shoes.
Or what you do is you jam your foot to the front of your shoe.
Yeah.
So that when your parents always did that thing to see where your big toe was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, look how tight it is. And they
I'm really
think your
growing.
feet were going to end
I
up
know.
deformed.
That's when you
Really
would get like
hurt.
Payless shoes.
Yeah.
I remember. I mean, the pair of Jordans that I wanted was the Jordan 5s at the time. Those were the big ones. I never got
Yeah.
them until I was an adult.
Yeah. What about you, Sammy? Something you wanted as a kid?
Well, I mean, mine's kind of silly, but what I really wanted was posters, to put posters on my wall. And I wasn't allowed to have them. I wasn't allowed to put posters on my wall because it was wallpapered and you're going to ruin the wallpaper. But I didn't wallpaper the room. That wasn't me. So I ripped out like pieces from a magazine, you know, like kind of picture stuff of NSYNC, obviously, and put it on my door because there wasn't wallpaper on the door. And my mom was like, no, what are you doing?
Oh,
Take that
she just
down."
thought it looked tacky. as
Yeah, I wasn't allowed
hell.
to have posters.
Now
Greg
that's
doesn't
why.
disagree with this.
Yeah, that's why
Those are
today
good
Sammy's
parents.
apartment is completely covered in posters of NSYNC.
Right. Yes, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
called good parenting.
Yeah, you
See,
can't
that's
even
like-
see the wall.
See, Baz, I can imagine, like, because your parents are so, well, your mom, for sure, so hippy-dippy, making your own clothes and
Hell
things
yeah,
like
dog.
that. I would imagine there was a lot of things that you really wanted.
Well, I think I
Or did you not hear about as much because you were homeschooled?
Right.
Exactly. I didn't have the stupid peer pressure to buy the latest shoes or whatever. Like, we just had what we wanted at home, toys-wise, except for garbage stuff you get at, like, the circus. So think of like the dumb plastic stuff that breaks in 2 seconds that has little lights. You know,
The fiber optic.
right?
I remember
Things
that.
with little like the fiber
Oh,
optic
yeah.
wands, little swords that
Yep,
light up.
yep.
A lot of inflatable crap.
Balloons with others. Exact. You guys are nailing all the big ones.
We remember it.
And we would go to like Ringling Brothers back when they actually had animals. R.I.P. Speaking of things you miss.
It's sad.
And I want that stuff. And my parents would say, that's cheap. They didn't say Chinese because we didn't know at the time, but that's cheap plastic garbage. No, you're not getting it. And they were right.
It's like that joke in Back to the Future where he went to the Old West and Doc's trying to figure out what's wrong with the time machine. He goes, oh, no wonder. Look, it says made in Japan.
Burn.
Now that would be an honor.
I know.
Now it's different. I mean, but
Yeah,
at that time, you know.
Super nice.
Yeah. All right. So, what was something that you wanted as a kid but you couldn't have? 877-44-WOODY is the phone number. You can send us your text over to 22987. We got some more Woody Show coming up for you next. Don't go anywhere. Hold on.
I feel sick. I got diarrhea. My mouth is dry.
The Woody Show.